Hi, I'm Brent Campbell. Following up on the last set of videos where I covered what to eat, followed by what not to eat. Now it's time to address the third leg of the eating stool, when to eat. I've mentioned fasting in previous videos, going so far as to call it a game changer. For me, it's truly proven to be just that. In my nearly 45 years, outside of my teenage growth spurt, only in the time period since I started fasting have I managed to successfully keep the weight off. So yeah, game changer indeed. Whether you call it intermittent fasting, time-restricted eating, or something else, it is often misunderstood and well worth understanding. And I want to focus on just this topic here. As I've dug into what I think should be said here, I've decided to dedicate quite a few videos on this before moving on to other subjects. It's that important, and it's also that misunderstood. While it's used quite effectively for weight loss, the main idea behind fasting is that it enables your body to do things besides digest food. Fasting from food enables your body to naturally repair itself, which is what people who eat all day long don't allow their bodies to do. Fasting effectively can have a huge impact on both your lifespan, just how long you live, as well as your health span, just how healthy your body is over your lifetime. After all, shedding excess fat from your body isn't just for vanity. The health benefits of dropping the weight are many and profound, but reduced aches and pains to substantially reduce risk of pretty much every disease, provided you're eating the right foods mostly, of course. Even at that, carrying excess weight, particularly around your belly, does incredible damage to your body, harmless as it may appear. It's complex, and there are a lot of rules to keep in mind that'll make your body's transition smoother. If you don't do it correctly, at best, it'll make your life less pleasant, and at worst, it could cause health problems for you. Obviously, we want neither of those outcomes for you, so I'll do my best to outline everything you need to know based on what the top experts in the field say, with my anecdotal years of experiences mixed in. The idea is not to starve yourself, of course, but to enable your body to do things besides digesting food, including, most importantly, repairing itself from the damage normal oxidative stress does inside your body. Digesting food is a lot of work for our bodies, and when your body spends most of its effort digesting food, it rarely gets the opportunity to divert its finite resources to tackling something also extremely important: cellular repair. Like I mentioned, since I'm not going to fool myself into thinking I can cover all of this adequately in just one video, I've decided that it's best to break this topic out into a series, giving it the space needed to break out the key points, as I know a lot of you are curious about this. The expert's advice is often contradictory if well-meaning, and I've done the homework on it, and I've tested it extensively on my own body. I figure I can add some clarity here, and it's an exciting challenge. So with that said, in this series, I will cover Section 1, Why You Should Fast. If you don't yet know, the many profound benefits that come from fasting will blow your mind, and it's so easy once you understand it and you break the habit of constant eating, which really isn't as hard as you think it's going to be. Having said that, I think it's best to start with the science of fasting and the benefits beyond weight loss. I will reference the top experts in the field, including Dr. Sachin Panda, Rhonda Patrick, Mark Madsen, Peter Attia, and Mark Hyman. I'll cover much of this ground over the next several videos, including this one. Then, in Section 2, the methods and rules to fasting effectively. While fundamentally simple, you have to keep a lot of things in mind when you fast, and so I'll go over the pros and cons to fasting and its different approaches. Thankfully, methods to suit different lifestyles and preferences abound, and I'll cover your options here. Then, in the third and final section in this series, I'll cover when I eat and why. I'll cover my daily routine, and largely the one I've been practicing for about 4.5 years. How it's played an essential role in keeping the weight off, and what I'd recommend to others starting out based on my experience. Alright, let's start by diving into the science behind intermittent fasting, and why it's worth a close look if you haven't yet considered it. While you've no doubt heard that intermittent fasting can help you lose weight, and I can certainly attest to that, I'd also add that it'll help you keep the weight off too, which is the toughest part of all for many, including me. Did you also know that it can protect you against disease, improve your memory, and lower your cholesterol? And those huge health benefits are just the beginning. Intermittent fasting outperforms traditional diets in terms of weight loss, reduced body fat, and improved insulin, which all affect our health profoundly. Further to that, intermittent fasting may beat traditional weight loss plans when it comes to lowering a woman's risk for breast cancer. And Fasting may disrupt or counteract the development of neurological diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Mark Mattson, chief of the Laboratory of Neurosciences at the National Institute on Aging and a professor of neuroscience at the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, has published multiple studies and reviews on intermittent fasting. There's evidence that these diets bolster stress resistance and combat inflammation at a cellular level. As Dr. Mattson explained, people undergo a metabolic switch in which the liver's energy stores are depleted, and so the body's cells start to use fat and ketones for energy. This switch is a form of mild challenge to the human body that he compares to exercise. Just as running or lifting weights stresses the body in beneficial ways, the stress imposed by fasting appears to induce some similarly beneficial adaptations. Whether you're talking about physical activity or fasting, these cycles of challenge, recovery, seem to optimize both function and durability of most cell sites, as he explained. Fasting also makes sense from an evolutionary standpoint. All the time access to food is a relatively new phenomenon in human history. Back when sustenance was harder to come by, as he explained, natural selection would have favored individuals whose brains and bodies functioned well in a food-deprived state. I mean, think about it. When food gathering and production were nowhere near what we take for granted today, people would go extended periods of time without eating. Those lucky enough to survive enough to have children were able to survive those periods. So just from that perspective, it only makes sense that fasting would have a positive impact on your health. It sounds like magic, and totally contrary to what so many of us were brought up to understand about managing our diets. It's frustrating, isn't it? So then, how does it actually work? Have you heard of your body's natural process called autophagy? It very well may be the most important thing fasting does for us. Well, as defined by Dr. Priya Khurana from Columbia University, autophagy is the body's way of cleaning out damaged cells in order to regenerate newer, healthier cells. Auto means self and phagy means eat. So the literal meaning of autophagy is self-eating, or it's also referred to as self-devouring. While that may sound like something you never want to happen to your body, it's actually beneficial to your overall health. This is because autophagy is an evolutionary self-preservation mechanism through which the body can remove the dysfunctional cells and recycle parts of them towards cellular repair and cleaning. Seems crazy, right? And yet it's true. Our bodies evolved this way to enable them to survive and thrive. In addition to the positive benefits for folks looking to drop weight, intermittent fasting can help people gain lean body mass. And I can attest to that benefit too. I'll speak to that specifically soon, as if you do it incorrectly, you'll basically be wasting your time in the gym. And of course, that'd be a shame. Please keep in mind that men and women often have varying results, just as individual people do. The only way to find out for sure how it affects your body is by discussing the issue with your doctor and doing some self-experimentation and monitoring. And I'll speak more to that soon too. Personally, I've been doing it 4.5 years now, and I can attest to its many benefits. I'll get into my particular routine in the subsequent video. Alright, that covers it for today. Next, we'll debunk the theories we've heard for decades about dieting, at least with regard to when to eat. Until then, thank you for watching. Please do subscribe so you can stay tuned. See you next time.